specifically the Poppy and the Zyra, which also made us go, I don't know about that. And then they also highlight the exact... That's when you know that a team has done something that's made everyone watching very upset. I think it's hard to just move past that. And I want you to look at Pioshik's face. That is a man that both in his greatest moments and in his struggles is always emoting, right? Like, and I think we see it right there. He's feeling the pressure. I don't think he had the game, and what was said earlier by the space is also warranted. It is hard to hit those skill shots, right? Realistically, that's why often you combine at least some form of setup. They had very little in that game, but even then it felt like there was a pervasive feeling of there was more to be done in that game than what ended up happening. And now you are a single game loss away from the LCK Cup being over. So for DNF, there's a ton of pressure, and a lot of the issues persist that we've witnessed with this team. It just doesn't feel like they really gel together in the team fights, in the calls, and even in the early skirmishes.
When you think about DRX, I mean, Nucal is really impressive during group stage, and Teddy, you know, his first game back, we were like, oh yeah, you know, it's Teddy, but now every game I watch him, I'm like, it's Teddy. He is back, you know, especially against opponents that, you know, as a team, I would say he is able to really just take down. He's always been great against, you know, tough opponents, weak opponents, but in this one, he's really shining. And now they're going to give him probably the Ashe here. We already seen Ezreal and Kai'Sa thinking about the Ashe, but also hovering Aurora. Let's see what they give him in this game.
Love an Aurora. It can go Aurora and Nocturne here. On the 1-2 is a possibility. Is of course a flex pick. Could theoretically also go to a Rich, but if you can have Nucal play a champion with as much impact as Aurora can have in team fights, I'm going to be feeling great about that.
I mean, he made Corki, engage Corki, a thing in that last game. Flanking Corki. He's like, I'll show you all the different angles of Corki that you haven't quite seen before.
It was just a skill issue all along, as we're finding out as the Ashe also gets locked in. Ashe slots into basically any comp. Varus has been taken away. Kalista has been banned, and that's kind of the trio of high priority picks. I do think Ashe is one of those AD carries where theoretically, with a pick like Wukong, you can make her life a living hell. It was a stationary target, and that's a circle comp. This is cohesive, but the draft has not really been the issue for DNF. It's been actually playing it out, but this is, I think, great. Everyone wants to go in. We're all going to play aggressively. Now, what do you pair with this when it comes to an AD carry? Remains to be seen, but anything that wants to play forward or can provide a lot of backup, I think, is be feeling great. I'm worried they might be looking towards the MF. I hope they don't.
Yeah.
Because I want to see Berserker on something that has agency. And even though he did get beaten by an objective, I feel like when it comes to his play, outside of that, he was really good in the last game. And the one shining light for DN.
Well, we got a Rakan ban here, so that's going to be the first one. I mean, Galio Rakan, very obnoxious. I think that's a warranted ban. But, you know, will they target the AD carry pool at all? I do wonder, you know, if they're worried about an MF. I know that we aren't very happy with MF and the way it has performed, but in general, the teams have still been picking it up when they get a chance. So like an MF or even like a Jhin, if you're looking for more pick, that's not really maybe enough damage. So maybe too many picks to ban away. So maybe just ban another support, or
can even go Ziggs here.
There you go.
Have a good amount if you're DNF.
Or Jinx, right? Maybe that's why they banned the Lulu, because, you know, with the resets, if you just pile on and you have the Jinx behind it.
Yeah, yeah. This is the other, it's either protect the Jinx comms, or as you're saying, you just have a strong 2v2 lane. Playing Braum into Lulu is also kind of a nightmare. What is going to be the setup here for the DRX jungler? It looks like going to be Xin Zhao. Slots into basically anything. Very versatile. I'm not the biggest Xin Zhao fan. I feel like the champion is quite strong, but you do kind of rely on getting rolling early to have the biggest impact. And yeah, I think Ziggs makes a ton of sense. You get to neutralize laning against Ashe and Braum, which is a nightmare. Gives you a lot of flexibility with your support as well, as you don't really need to be tied to that bot lane pick. Now for life, what is it going to be? Like Leona, I think is good, but trying to play Leona into Braum just doesn't seem that great.
Leona?
Still might be the Leona, just so they have a guaranteed engage source, but this time around I do feel like they have plenty of go buttons compared to last time. Playing that into Braum, I don't think it's going to be feeling amazing. But maybe life wanting an opportunity for revenge. And it is good. More setup for Ziggs is always going to feel great. As the counter Camille. Counter both into Mbessa and also counter because there's a Galio on the enemy team. But if you really think about it, isn't Aurora Camille just Galio Camille with some extra steps?
No?
Not really, but if you think about it a little...
If you really think about it, you know, Aurora also has a circle ult.
It's hexagon and circle. You know, you keep them inside, a lot of damage.
Is it a hexagon? I thought it was just a perfect circle.
No, I mean the Camille.
Oh, right, okay. There you go.
No, the other one is a perfect circle. Yeah. This is what I'm talking about. You're like, you've seen this a million times. So like, wait, did I see it wrong the whole time?
Yeah. Well, it's definitely happened before.
It happened to me about about a million times.
We've been casting this game for a very long time. Some things just fly under the radar.
Yeah, or they
brain fills in the gaps, you know.
And then they change them back, and then they change them again.
And then you think it's like the original one, and then, you know, cut through, dominate. A little shout out to I will dominate, I guess. No, that's their motto. But you can choose to leave whatever you want.
The SpongeBob memes just, they really do kind of make themselves, don't they?
What was with the jacked Teddy? I mean, I get it, but
it's his gameplay.
I guess so. Yeah, kind of like you, Cal. With definitely not Photoshop Silas cosplay that he did. It looks like we're ready, guys. Game number 2 begins right now. Game number 2 in this best of 3 is actually match point for both of these teams. Well, the winning team, obviously DRX, have match point. And if they win this, they will go on with the 2-0 and move on to the next phase of play-ins, which will be played tomorrow, I believe, with the best of 5 on Sunday. So, you know, you're going to have back-to-back days. Could be a lot of stress, a lot of preparation going into that one. But will be interesting to see how it all does pan out. And if DNF can make a comeback from the blue side, would make Game 3 very interesting.
Looking at the compositions here. DN Freaks, very straightforward. You dive, and then you throw a Ziggs bomb on top of all your circles, and then that should be enough to make it work. For DRX, really does feel like they can definitely team fight, but it's more of a 1-4, 1-3-1 style composition where you're going to be trying and leverage the power of particularly the Camille, but both Camille and Aurora are insanely threatening in their side lanes, while also being notoriously hard to pin down with the amount of safety that they have built into their kits. We do have the swap coming through from DRX again. I do think their swaps looked a lot better, even with Rich dying early on last time. And then secondly, a Camille, I think, is into Mbessa, something that eventually gets to have a great time, but the early levels are not something you're going to be super excited about. And Dudu is now Mbessa stuck in a sad lane swap into Braum and Ash.
Amba stuck.
Yes,
yeah.
He's Amba stuck.
Yeah. Unfortunate. That's the way the lane swaps. And these top laners just have to suffer. You're the 80 carry once again.
Life decides that Berserker does not need him, which he doesn't because he Ziggs. And as long as we don't see any aggressive satcheling, Berserker should be completely fine. Has TP available as well. As might actually be matching the swap here. It looks like Berserker now making his way over.
Maybe a little cheeky bait as well. I mean, they're going to find level 1 life.
Level 1.
Yeah. Hasn't really been in a lane very much, getting experience.
Yeah, they don't know about Berserker coming over, but they will know the moment that TP comes through. That was free health, so Sponge should be... Wait, did Pioche get it? I think Pioche got it, actually.
Did he really?
I'm not sure. Maybe it was the auto.
Smite on cooldown for Pyosik, not for Sponge. And now going in on Pyosik, though, the Braum stun might just be enough, but Andil level 2, and here we go! Andil getting super low, and he will be taken down. First blood goes to DNF, but here comes the Ass. Very good in this kind of situation, getting the stragglers. A couple of kills go to DRX immediately. And there you go, DRX able to turn it on its head and win the fight.
Yeah, I don't know about trying to hard force a skirmish into Ash Braum and Xin level 3. I feel like that's definitely not...
But they got the Braum!
Yeah!
Worth!
Yeah, we threw all our damage into Braum! That'll do it. And a large part of what makes that work is the fact that obviously Braum is insanely strong in these skirmishes, but like he still tanks a ton. He tanks an Ignite, gets his passive off one more time, and as you point out, Teddy is unchecked in all of this.
They use all their flashes to engage as well.
All their and you have Ziggs.
He said something about Andil, but I didn't quite catch what it was.
I'm sure it was, you are a worthy sacrifice, and you did great. We're proud of you.
That's
Andil.
Definitely not what Yucal would say. He probably said, like,
wow, can't believe you died.
I can't believe you died. Like, thanks for dying. You know, I'm going to get fed off of this. You know, your sacrifice is for me. Thank you very much. Probably something like that is what I would imagine. And now in this lane, I mean, kind of an awkward spot. I mean, you still have Ziggs, so regardless if the lane is pushing into you, you can always just throw bombs and farm. Another reason to enjoy this pick. And now in the 1v1 here, Rich seems to be doing quite well. Is losing a lot of his mana and just went
It's fine, he has cookies.
Those don't give mana.
This is one of the things we talked about. They do increase your mana regen, right?
I thought that was changed, right? They took it away?
Well, I know they don't give it immediately. I don't know, it's hard to keep track of the
There's just so many little it's exactly what we were talking about before. Where you gotta like pull out the encyclopedia of League of Legends. We're like, okay, well, let's see all the changes. Yeah, Yuka's just getting a free plate mid. Kind of funny how that works. The Galio into the Aurora early on, not exactly having a fun time. And just got back here, Bulldog level 5. Had to walk back as well, didn't have TP. And he's down a level, and he takes a giant chunk the second he gets here. It's just not a fun time. DRX, they control mid, they control top. So they will get the grubs. And that means that Pyosik is going to run down towards the dragon and take it down.
As you correctly surmised, as of this season, no longer there. Only health.
Yep.
You do get extra permanent health, but yeah.
There you go. Just another little change that snuck by the mastermind chronicler.
Well, I don't know if I would call myself a mastermind.
Well, you wouldn't, but everybody else would.
Let's move on from this conversation. As currently, DRX feeling great, about a 1.5k gold lead this early on. Yucal, as we pointed out, one of the biggest advantages that he was able to find thanks to that early skirmish. Bulldog is now level 6, so the side laning potential is there for the DN Freaks, which at least is something. But right now, they are behind basically everywhere, as he does have Satchel.
He has a flash to get close, though.
Oh.
That's pretty rough. I mean, Ziggs without flash, definitely very punishable, especially if Satchel is ever misused, which we see all the time, unfortunately. Rich generally should be doing well in this matchup, but...
Yeah, so short...
Really?
Yeah, short trades are good. And then early on, you do actually have a... I think Camille, like the first couple of levels, always feels a bit deceptively strong, but at this point I think Dudu definitely should be running the lane up until Rich gets to those classic Camille breakpoints, right? When you get maxed out Q, currently on level 4, so that's 2 more levels. When you start building or finishing your actual items, once you have Triforce, once you have Sterix.
I forget who it was who played the Camille. Was it Zeus?
I'm pretty sure. I think we've had like 2.
Oh, Arrow coming down, already level 6. The Satchel is fantastic. Just like that, you can disengage from fights. Use it for disengaging. It's very good. But yeah, we saw this matchup before, and I think the Camille just absolutely might have been just like a player diff in that game. But you're definitely right that Gotta wait a little bit to get those items online, and the Camille will always begin to flourish. For now, just catching waves, totally fine. You know, matching farm, Rich actually ahead. And everything going pretty smoothly here for DRX. I feel like so many times UCal, especially with the lead, just goes totally unchecked. And Bulldog is just here in mid, just taking abuse and losing health, losing turret plates, they're losing objectives. As some slows are going to come down here. Berserker, looks like no satchel available. Tons of damage going in. Being pumped into the Ziggs. One more will do it on the auto, but here comes the Galio, and the trade will come in. Bulldog at least able to shore up the play.
That's probably worth for DN Freaks, even though it feels bad that Berserker actually did end up dying. As you pointed out, no satchel. Like, they got double sums. And they traded 1-for-1. Did have to invest Bulldog's flash, which obviously also not going to feel great. Not sure if that was really necessary, given that Teddy had already used both of his, and he was so low. I think in a longer chase was still going to be able to catch up to him. As we take another look here, Berserker.
Oh, that satchel is just illegal.
Yeah, definitely.
I didn't even notice that. You can't do that.
No. Well, clearly he couldn't because he died immediately, so you love to see that. And then we have the ultimate here. So Bulldog... Yeah, with that trying to get... I guess he trades flash for flash with Vandal, trying to get both of them with the taunt. Ends up working out for him as he still picks up the kill on Teddy. But that did all kind of come from the aggressive satchel, otherwise that play wouldn't have been possible. And it further digs the hole. DN Freaks currently 2K goal behind. If they lose this game, that's it. That's the LCK Cup done for them. And... I'm going to be frank, Veldas, it does feel like they need some time. They need time to kind of figure out how does this roster work, who are we playing for, what are we playing towards, because that early, like this play top was fine, but that early jungle skirmish really kind of encapsulates the feel of, if you're going for those type of early skirmishes and you basically flip in the game, you need to either know that you have a stronger comp, which... They definitely didn't.
I think maybe they just didn't think about it too much.
Yeah, well, that's...
Maybe the coach was like, by the way, don't fight them early, and then they just did it anyway. That could certainly happen. Oh. Blast Cone would have saved him anyway.
Yeah, flash as well.
Yeah.
Should have always been fine there. But the objectives are currently tied, as we have 3 grubs for DRX, and DNF are sitting on a single dragon. As we have a full rotation, another angle, that's Braum.
Yeah, they're trying to fight into Braum. The TP comes down. That's a very nice solar flare. The Braum ult's trying to help him, and no flash, as you mentioned. Teddy is going to take a beating, but here comes the Camille. A trade back, and now you've got Life in a big issue. They're trying to go right in. Sponge wants the kill. He's going to get one, but not the other. But look at UCal. He's doing so much damage, and again, he is unchecked in this fight and should eventually be able to take down Dudu, you would imagine. Although the dashes are coming in, and another satchel will be used to finally get them out of dodge. So ends up just kind of being an interesting trade outside of the grubs. Grubs not totally claimed just yet.
Yeah, some missed skill shots there avert a total disaster. As we take another look, it's Life going in here and going in on Braum. Always going to feel rough, but it's really a bait. Really good ultimate from him there. Kind of baits Teddy in by going in on Ondale. And there's no sums, what we talked about earlier. The problem for DN Freaks is that Teddy really isn't the main carry. UCal was already monstrously fed at this point, and Sponge further extends the play, and I think they definitely could have ended up going even worse if Berserker doesn't get his flash and is able to flash away right there. And then we also had Dudu just barely dodging one of UCal's skills, which probably would have ended up killing him on the pullback. But by the end of that play, DRX still got a grub, won't get the full objective, but they did also get, what was it, 2 more kills on UCal, who's now
oh my god
3-0 and is picking up plates and crashing his full wave.
He's got 5 stacks on his Dark Seal. He is going to go back and buy a component or maybe just finish off the boots. I mean, this guy is... He's kind of out of control fed. This is like that mid laner in solo queue.
Is UCal the 3rd best mid in the LCK at the moment? I'm not joking.
I mean, right
so
now...
with Showmaker and Faker, because Chovy thus far hasn't looked that good. Zach hasn't looked that good.
I'd say he has played better.
Has
been more of an MVP to his team, especially.
Is that where we're at?
Compared to Chovy and
maybe it's also expectations, right? Maybe we're judging them too harshly based on the form they've had so far. But the fact that we can talk about it in the first place,
yeah,
sure, you can push back, but that's kind of insane.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be true with just the fact that he's in the conversation. It's kind of crazy. There's a fantastic arrow, and now UCal, does he have the damage to take out Dudu? They've got a lot of people coming down here. The ult easily dodged by UCal as the engage Braum ult's going to get on top of Pyosik here. Zig's trying to help out from very far. UCal getting pretty low, but Life not going to be able to get it. He just goes invis, and you're not going to lock down UCal's Aurora. It's not going to happen. And he picks up 4 kills now.
Bit of a caster blessing on that one. As another kill for UCal. Teddy, meanwhile, just happily fired his arrow and has just been collecting farm in the mid lane. Berserker also forced a TP to catch that mid wave, and that's going to be the objective going over to DRX as well. 3k gold lead now as we take another look. So the arrow ends up chunking out Dudu, but UCal doesn't actually get that much damage down on him. Dudu obviously is pretty beefy, has a lot of build and sustain as well. But then has to vacate the area anyway. And then here, the fact that he is able to flash away, stay out of Pyosik's side, go back into stealth. Untouched.
While eating a massive amount of damage from the Ziggs ult, by the way, which was pretty far away.
He did kind of hop into the middle there, which might have ended up, if it ended up killing him, would have been unfortunate, but it didn't. As, we do see Sponge, as we expected, taking that dragon there. I don't think this game is fully done, but I do think we are circling the drain right now, Valdez.
Well, I would agree. And UCal has already done 10k damage, 15 minutes into the game. And obviously, as you get more items, you're going to be doing more damage. So to have that number at this point, pretty impressive. And Chronicler's already preparing his POM sheet.
I'm thinking about the comments. You know,
I do wonder who you would choose. It's a very difficult choice.
Yeah.
You know, Teddy's arrows, excellent. Sponge.
Sponge is actually...
He played Zyra.
No, Sponge has had a good series so far.
He did, yeah.
Smites have been on point.
That's why it's so difficult, right?
No, it's not. We all know.
There's no way to know who everybody's going to choose.
Deal, you know,
right?
almost perfect.
Who's Jonah Strong going to choose? Will he choose Teddy? Or you think he's also going for UCal?
He's going rich. He tanked so much, man. He's a selfless player. No, I don't presume to know what Jonah Strong is thinking.
I don't think anyone has that ability, except Jonah Strong, obviously.
Even him, I think. Sometimes he
maybe
found himself.
Kisun, you know, like an apprentice of Jonah Strong.
Yeah, no,
he's like kind of learning the ways, right?
Oh, deep TP. This might be the final fight the DN Freaks get. This one's gotta hit. They do spot him.
It's got to be Teddy, right? You got to get the flank here on Teddy, and they should have it. There's the engage. Teddy, can he survive? He flashes away, but he's still dead. Not getting out of that one. They do take a bunch of damage in the play. UCal, though, also pretty low. Trying to go back in, and is not going to be able to do so. And immediately, we curse DRX. DNF a fantastic fight here. They get a couple of kills, and they are looking to push here. Let's see where they go from this. Doesn't look like they're able to do too much. Just a fight. And the eye goes awry. Nobody picks it up.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think Sponge did hit the smite, but then nothing happened. And this is Bulldog. I thought that they spotted him because he appeared for a split second there on the minimap, but clearly not ready enough. And everything else kind of comes from that initial taunt. So much of the damage taken away. And then Dudu and Bulldog obviously bring more than enough, even with Pyosik. You know, he did his job. CC'd, took a lot of damage, still not having the best game on the Wukong, but they needed to win that fight. Like, if you play for that, if you try to go for that Herald fight and it goes bust, the game is over. That gold lead balloons, and there's nothing you can do. Now you actually have some stuff to play for. Yeah, confirmation that the eye did indeed just kind of sadly go away.
Fizzle out.
And for DRX, I don't think they're going to be too bothered. They still get defeats. Not getting the eyes, a bummer, but they were still able to deny it from their opponents, and they still have both a fat UCal, and Rich is now also in a pretty decent spot. Although Dudu picks up a bunch of kills in that previous play, as Rich might be in some trouble here.
Nice little dodge. He's got his ult too, but he flashes and gets stunned at the same time. And, well, now he's very dead. Nice try. I mean, the first part of that was cool, but then he just got absolutely rolled.
Yeah,
so
I think he flashed after Life had already prompted his Q, so
yeah.
It's an auto attack. Unfortunately, those always go off. Does still find the CC, otherwise might have lived. And then Berserker also just adding a little bit of damage for good measure. Looks like he is going, what, Blackfire Leandries? He's going max burn. Not going for a Archangels, which I'm sure Ox will be happy about. Although this might be one of the games where it's kind of warranted. There is a lot of dive with the Camille and the Xin Zhao and the Aurora. But Berserker not going to go for that.
I think with this front line, you know, you can maybe just rely on staying way back and just throwing in bombs. And even if you do eventually die, you're going to do a ton of damage. So
yeah,
might be the call. But I think our good friend Alex doesn't like this first item in general. But at least you got a lot of targets that are building some health. And the burn will feel decent.
We also have Chemtech Drake. We haven't talked about it yet.
Yeah, I didn't really want to.
It's not, yeah, it's. I don't think it's that good for anyone on either side. You know, this isn't one of those compositions where it's like, oh, there's Ivern and Cassante and...
Yeah. You know, it got buffed on the recent patch.
Yeah.
Very surprisingly, it was underperforming.
Yeah.
Couldn't have seen that coming. But yeah, DRX looks like they will take the Drake. And still feel...
It's even that way in solo.
Lukewarm about it.
Not playing all the Shyvana. You just want to get the dragons because
you're
Shyvana. Get a ton of free resistance.
Just do Otacon. Strategy.
You know what?
Against Ashe.
Yeah, I don't... if they get just a cooldown or two, then it's fine. I don't think that... I think they needed Berserker there earlier. Although, wait, there's no vision. So we do have DRX actually having to gain access. I think they're too slow, though. Yeah, they're not going to be able to take this down, and now they've been shredded.
Oh, they're trying to
Look at Yucal.
Onto someone. Teddy with the cleanse. And Yucal just going to take away Berserker from the game. And just like that, okay. DRX happy to get the one, but Yucal is just untouched once again, and even Teddy's untouched. They do take down the Xin Zhao, but the two damage dealers are just dealing a ton of damage, and here we go. The Penta will be lined up for Yucal. Slowly, no! Rich, why? It was such a great angle.
Look at it, France!
It was so obvious too. They were trying to give it to him, and Yucal is just like, well, at least I have 8 kills. At least we're gonna move on to the next round, but I didn't get my Penta.
Yeah, that's... Otacon really does feel like DN Freak's their mortal enemy in this series.
Just don't start it.
Watch this.
This is really good for us, is what he says.
Look at that! And then immediately used the ult. Probably could have held on to that as well, but wanted to try, I think, and prevent a collapse onto him.
Yeah.
So what actually... Because I did Rich auto? He was taunted.
He fell out of his chair. He's like, I want to TP mid now.
Oh my god. Oh, it was Bulldog's fault.
All right.
It was Bulldog that did it to him, Valdez.
I can't believe he would do that. And now, oh, he's dead. Oh, there you go.
Wait.
And Rich TP'd in for this.
Wait, they're going to get Otacon.
They're going to get Otacon. Rich is dead. And DRX are going mid. So that's all you got to do. Just bait him into getting really excited about the Penta so he overextends. And just kill him. But this turret is going down, at least.
Yeah, this series is beyond me. Valdez. I'm just...
take it away, Chronicler. Break it down.
I'm happy to see DN Freaks not give up. I still don't think we're seeing the... even now as they get Otacon, I still feel like, again, normally a team will kind of pop off the way it... Wait at this man pops.
Sorry. Oh, he just, yeah, uncensored for our audience who just let out a big gasp.
Oh, man. Good to have him back. Does immediately die here. Really nice collapse there. Bulldog and Dudu really carrying the weight in this one. And that is fine. It's the classic, if you see a losing play, do not try to turn it around, as Rich is like, I'm gonna help my buddy, and dies, which is the reason why they can do autocon there, is because Rich also TPs into his demise. This alone, not enough. The Enfreak still 3k gold behind, but the game is still afoot. And now they have absolute bonkers buff. Berserker.
Yeah.
Keep dodging those skill shots.
And if that arrow hits, you know, a quick burst from Callan if he gets away. Nice little bonus gold, not half bad, but they're not able to line it up. Berserker, nice dodge. Really, Berserker's only, okay, they're going in on this one, but
yeah, why not?
Still have the Otacon. Sponge is going to back up now and just try to peel for the team, and now they're getting all this bonus gold. Feeling pretty good about these withdrawal kills. Nothing going the way of DNF. And you just gave 800 gold over to DRX. Looking for a bit more. As Berserker gonna have to flash as well. Just a bit of a cherry on top.
Yeah, just let. I know it feels bad, but I think you need to keep your flash there.
Let him die and give the 200 gold. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because the flash is a lot more valuable than the gold.
Yeah.
Like an upcoming fight becomes a lot harder there.
Sponge was just baiting them.
Yeah, well, I actually think that's it. And it's a Zinza. If he's half health, look at how much damage his ultimate soaks there. And this is the worst case scenario where you're like, okay, we're going to use our buff to dive, and then we're going to kill some of them, and then it's fine. You only need to kill like 2 people, and it's worth it.
Yeah.
And then it'll kill anyone. As Teddy seemingly has realized that playing AD carry is dumb, and he's just going to split push now because he has the whole break finished.
He's just, you know, he's just trolling in solo queue. He's like, you guys win the game. I'm gonna split.
I mean, we've seen a lot of on the fringes like Hullbreaker being used.
Where's the arm guard?
For what? For more trolling?
No,
or
for
just
Zhonya's.
Oh, I don't think he's going Zhonya's. I think he just goes Hullbreaker.
And then
passive, and then
yeah,
you have good siege.
He'll go Lord Doms.
You're
and then,
beefy.
And then he'll go Zhonya's.
It's no different than going Jack shows on something like Kalista.
Sure.
Or Ashe, you know, you get to...
But I still do think
passive
Zhonya's is a good idea. I'm serious. I think it's a good idea. Thanks for the see, Rich agrees with me. He gave me a thumbs up. He was on camera. He knew.
Yeah, yeah.
Me and Rich are very good friends. Not as good of friends as Wolf and Kong.
I knew you were going to. I knew that was coming
we're,
back.
we text occasionally.
We are just prompted robots, aren't we?
Yes.
See thing, insert LCK meme.
It's Westworld. You know, like the scene where she's like seeing the, you know, the algorithm of her speech patterns. Yeah.
Yeah, that's us.
Yeah.
Is that our viewers as well?
Remember Atlas AI from Challengers?
I do remember Atlas AI. Yeah, because, I mean, even the viewers, you know, they see a thing, and then they always respond with the same chat response.
Yeah. Like if you were to say 07 right now.
Yeah.
What do you think is going to happen?
What happens if you? What do you think happens if you mention Arcane? Chat's going to be full of bet chest.
Yeah.
That's just how it goes.
That is the way it is.
Kadro mentioned XDD.
How about bro?
Bro?
Okay, bro.
Okay, bro. Fly the flag, pay the tax.
Yeah.
We're all just...
the way it is.
We're all
we figured it out. We're self-aware. Oh no, what does it mean?
I don't know, but they're starting Baron.
They're just doing Baron. And this is totally envisioned. They didn't... I mean, there's a control ward in the back of the pick, guys.
It's fine. It'll work out. Someone will miss position, and it'll be okay.
Don't worry about the ward.
They're not just going to 50-50 flip it.
Just do the objective. They're not actually doing the objective. They want to get the turn, and the turn is on to Sponge and Ondil. They are kind of alone at this point. I mean, eventually the Xin Zhao dies, but they're taking a ton of damage on the backside of this. Flash away from life is pretty good, though, so they get the kill, and they get away just barely. It's very scary.
Huh. It's not it's like engaging onto a Zinza often feels like engaging onto Braum, and here Life did both, but it still ended up working out. And I think the big thing here is that it seems like DRX weren't really willing to fully commit, because you see both UCal and Rich kind of walking back. I think also the position of Teddy there was definitely a reason why they didn't really feel super safe taking that fight, because he still doesn't have his flash. Does now have the Lord Doms done. This Void stuff is almost done for Berserker as well. But they, most importantly, DRX deny the Baron being taken. And the sums that were gained for DN Freaks is just Undale sums, who I don't think are the biggest deal. So might try and go for this play again. They definitely want to keep brawling. So I think this actually makes a ton of sense. You don't want to try and side lane as... Thank you for pointing out, Veldas, that Teddy's flash is almost available for the next fight, and he will need it.
Yeah. I think if you're Teddy, you don't actually have to go Zhonya's. Wow. Yeah, that's Aurora, who we didn't see for the whole like middle and end part of the group stage. A lot of teams were just like, there are better picks. And I mean, I still think Aurora's quite good, especially if you're this fed. It's obviously going to look very good. So yeah, very high up on the damage meters. And, you know, he does have a dagger in the inventory, so I have a bad feeling about the Zhonya's Chronicler.
I'm sorry to report that that was not ever going to be very likely.
Just let Camille build damage items.
Well, he is. So,
yeah, they have enough.
Well, do you ever have enough damage? Well, I guess I thought that DN Freaks had enough damage in the last game.
What's better, a little bit of damage with the Zhonyas or a dead Ashe?
In some cases, I think it might be that Ashe if you die, if you take enough cooldowns with you.
The way that DNF's comp works, though, is like...
Yeah, I don't think Teddy's the
100 to 0 hit, you know?
Yeah. Well, with Hullbreaker, that's already hard. He has Cleanse and Flash as well.
That is true.
And also, I do really think that Ashe is one of those picks where you get 0 value out of...
What do you mean?
Of AP.
Or all.
Yes. I knew you were going to say
There is value, Chronicler.
Well, that is still very bad, though. Which I know you know.
True, yes. You just didn't, you said no value, so I got a little unhappy about it. Because there is value.
Are you,
there.
Are you actually technicalitying me?
No, I'm not. I would
you
never.
are.
I would
yeah,
never.
You are.
No.
Yeah, you are.
I would never.
We
would never do that to you, Chronicler.
Def gets done now for you, Cal. Starrick's done as well here. Oh, sorry, Death Stand's done as well for Rich. It's both Dudu and Rich sitting on Death Stands. Insanely strong item. Very expensive, but definitely going to be feeling great. Rich needs to level 16, though. Doesn't look like...
He's like, nah.
Trying to commit onto Dudu.
He's like, let me just run away from this gigantic wave when I'm about to hit level 16.
Well, yeah, because Yuko TP'd. So Yuko must have made the call, like, we can murder Dudu, which would have been big. But instead, they just TP'd. Missed out on 2 waves.
Oh, you got the Scuttle Crab?
Yeah.
Maybe he gets it on the Remnants? No, he doesn't. Okay.
Well, it's fine.
He'll get it now.
Who needs TP anyway? And I think DNF just started up again. And then get the TP out of Rich is now level 16. So free items level 16 for both top laners here. I'm feeling pretty good about DNF's chance. I think at this point, your teamfight comp is so insanely strong.
Trying to go in here.
Whoa, better run.
They are running with all of their might.
So the one thing they do have is the threat of that Camille inside. So yeah, DRX, they just want to not get engaged on.
Yeah.
And all that DN Freaks want is an engage is Wukong.
Uh-oh, Teddy in a bit of trouble, trying to dodge everything, but can you dodge everything? He's going to be able to, actually, as they take down the Ambessa, who goes in very deep. Anvil stays alive, and now they're able to kite it back. Yucal in the back line as well. And take a look at Berserker. Wasn't ever really able to join the fight at all. He's full health. You know, he did his combo, but that was it.
Yucal's ult effectively just murdered like 3 people immediately. And then the fact that it was even remotely close is testament to DM Freak's ability to try and fight their way out of that situation.
They don't have Baron, so maybe Berserker can clear, or maybe he's just going to die. Very nice satchel. But now he's zoned. He's zoned away. He can't clear the waves.
Doesn't have ult.
He can't clear the waves.
That's just it.
I think it's just over. Looks like we will be having DRX going on to the next round of the play-ins of the LCK Cup with a 2-0 victory tonight over the DN Freaks, who unfortunately will not be moving on. UCal, definitely the star of the show in more than one way tonight, as I'm sure that clip of him bouncing off the chair and then cursing on live television will be replayed many a time. But yeah, a very fun series, I'd say, even though it was a 2-0 at the end of the day.
DRX are just entertaining to watch in many ways. You know, I think that exactly what it feels like DN Freaks is lacking is there for DRX. It's the sense that even though the gameplay isn't the cleanest, we'll be fine. We'll be able to figure a way out of it. A lot of that is anchored around UCal's individual performance, but it's starting to feel like even Sponge and Ando are players that are notoriously inconsistent, having great highs, but also a lot of moments that make you go, ooh, I know about that. Thus far, have actually looked great in this series. And for DN Freaks, I think it's very clear that the time that they will have now up until the LCK actually starts will need to be used to figure out what is our identity as a team. Because even now, I still can't give you an answer. You know, even for all of their flaws with BNK FRX, it feels like we know that at least. It just isn't happening. But for DN Freaks, it just doesn't feel like they really know. And a 2-0 here for DRX. And yes, I know that they're the 3rd seed of play-ins versus the 6th seed of play-ins, but with some of the performances that we've had thus far, I think that DRX should still be proud of this.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, a win's a win, and they will be moving on to the next round. I do wonder how that is going to go for them with two very strong teams waiting. And yeah, just a lot of discussion here on the stage before going off. It was very nice to see a lot of very happy DRX members. You know, Rich generally doesn't show too much emotion, but he had a big smile. Same with Andil as well, showing a big smile. Obviously, UCal, he kind of has the emotion for the entire team and more. So, yeah, it's very fun to watch, as always, as we take a look at some of the replays. You know, many a times these were like big map plays, big rotations, you know, with the Galio and the Ziggs. You could see what DNF were trying to do. But DRX were just ahead of the curve. UCal got fed way too early on, and it was a big problem for them throughout the entire game.
Sponge also having a great game on both the Xin Zhao and the Zyra. The fact that he was able to make the Zyra work, I think, was partially some of DN Freak's decision-making, but then also him forcing the pick away of the mid lane in the first place was kind of what started that train going. But yeah, UCal really did feel like the main character in many ways in this one, as DN Freaks, those auto calls are going to be haunting them for longer than they're going to be haunting me, but I still feel a bit spooked, Valdez, so I can only imagine that it's worse for them.
Yeah.
As it feels like both of these games did come down to a couple of calls that just weren't up to par.
You see the turn is just very messy there from DNF. Like, the Ziggs ult wasn't even on anything. Like, Galio hadn't ulted yet. You know, it was just all over the place. Obviously, Berserker got one shot. You'll take a look at more UCal damage here.
Oh, I think that the ultimate from Dudu actually hit under there instead of Teddy. Could have been a difference maker.
Teddy dodged it. Yeah, Teddy flashed, a cleanse flashed out of the, it was a Wukong or something.
Yeah, otherwise I think they still would have won the fight. With the fact that UCal went untouched, as we can see here. And Rich also at this point is just a carry by himself, but Berserker just has to watch his base go down in tatters.
Screaming tower.
Teddy's back.
He's still complaining about his pentakill. He's like, my pentakill! Oh no! Here at the end of game 2, where he did 35,000 damage. To be fair, his opponent in Bulldog isn't meant to do much, but probably it would be Berserker that would have to match him. But yeah, the game was kind of a landslide victory towards DRX. So not a big surprise that this man, who did a huge amount of damage in both games and made the Corki look pretty good, pretty decent. If it's in the hands of UCal.
We mentioned it back then. I still do want to argue that is the most impressive thing out of today, is the fact that the Corki cocky. The only wins
Third
were,
win.
Yeah, but the other wins were 80 carry.
Yeah.
So still very impressive stuff here to come through from UCal and the gang.
Absolutely. Well, guys, we do have the interview ready to go, so I'll hand it over to Deer for the translation.
Thank you very much, guys. This is Deer for the POM interview translation, joined by UCal on the side of DRX.
안녕하세요. 감사합니다.
Congratulations! Hello, thank you.
DRX의 첫 번째 2대0 승리입니다.
This is DRX's first 2-0, and you have secured round 2 in the play-in stage. How do you feel?
1세트 때 잘 못했던 것 같아서 1세트만 잘하면
You know, we've always been having trouble winning first game, but I think overall we did really well today, so I feel very good. So let's talk about game 1 then. As a comp and for DRX, it looked like the game could have been difficult due to the lack of engaged champions. So what was the game plan? I think we were able to sort of pinpoint the enemy's weakness by actually just capitalizing off of side lanes. So I think that was really our main game plan. And in game 1, your Corki was reckless and aggressive, flashing forward to dodge skill shots and getting picks. So was that the type of playstyle you intended to pull here? I think just based on the enemy comp, I felt like they didn't have enough range to even reach me. So I did decide to go in aggressively and be more proactive here.
굉장히 오랜 기간 사랑받지 않을까 싶을 명장면이 있었습니다. 같이 좀 보겠습니다.
And we have the highlight, which will be loved by many fans for a very long time, I assume. Let's take a look.
아니 얼마나 아쉬우셨던 거예요?
Oh my.
이게
Just how disappointed were you?
무조건 이겼다라고 생각을 했고 사실 펜타도 뭔가
You know,
각이
just
보이더라고요.
when we started the team fight, we knew that we would win.
안 되더라고요. 그게
And
너무 아쉬웠던 것 같아요 순간. 네.
I thought I was so sure that I was gonna get pentakill, but I didn't get it. So I was so sad about it. And actually, after I flew off my chair, my back was hurting a lot. So
지금 괜찮으세요, 허리?
네, 지금은 괜찮아요.
알겠습니다.
I feel better. My back is fine, but I felt really bad that for my teammates afterwards. So DRX's audio is always so full of life, and you guys are always talking over each other. But you guys also seem to move as a unit all the time, which is so impressive. So what is your tip on communication?
이기기 위해서 좀 게임적인 내용을 좀 위주로 하다 보니까
You know, I think we just try to focus our communication around how to win the game. And I think on stage, just being able to communicate in a really fun way and being able to contribute to win is a really good thing. And your opponent in play-ins round 2 will be Hana Life Esports. Any word over to them? We lost against you guys last time, but we'll win this time around. Fighting! And that's the end of the interview with UCal, and back to the space. Thank you.